You probably want a fast car, right? You want something with 500 horsepower, 600 horsepower, 1,000 horsepower, which if you've never driven anything like that, especially without driver's aids, it's wild, it's crazy, even for advanced drivers. So today I want to make the argument for why you should buy a momentum car. For those of you that don't know, a momentum car is a car that has good handling and good brakes, but not a lot of power. Basically the opposite of a Dodge Viper. So you have smooth power delivery. Usually they're naturally aspirated because turbo cars can be peaky and unpredictable. Think about your Mazda Miata, even your 350Z, which I have, some of your older 911s, Porsche 996 Carrera, 997 Carreras, cars that have a good chassis, good braking, that are predictable and relatively easy to drive. Today everything is about high horsepower, point and shoot. Look at me, look at how fast I am. I have the biggest schlong, being the fastest on the street. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love fast cars, I love muscle cars, I love high horsepower cars, drag racing, but it'll get you in a lot of trouble, especially when you're young in your 20s. Because when you're in your 20s, you're probably going to be out late, you're going to be doing dumb stuff, you're going to be pushing the limits because maybe you've never been in trouble before, you haven't been caught yet. So you're testing the waters. And if you combine that with a high horsepower vehicle, it's a dangerous situation. I mean, think about how many Mustangs we see peeling out at car shows. When they wipe out, they end up in a ditch. Even for good drivers, a lot of these high horsepower cars are not easy to drive. Mazda Miatas get a lot of hate, but you know, they're actually really fun to drive. It's a small car, it's a lightweight car. It's something that we don't have much of anymore on the road. Open top, it's a great car for the back roads, one of the best out there. Very well balanced chassis, and it doesn't have so much power that it's gonna get you in trouble. And you can really enjoy the power. In these underpowered momentum cars, you can really max them out and have fun on the street. As to where with a lot of these cars, you can barely get through a gear without ending up in jail, without doing 100 miles an hour. A 300 horsepower car, a 250 horsepower car, you can ring it out. You can get into it. You can have a lot of fun, and you're not going to end up in jail. You're not going to win drag races. So if that's your thing, if you're a drag racer, yeah, this video isn't for you. But odds are you're used to muscle cars, you're used to fast cars. If you're going to the track, which is really, if you're racing, you should be going to the track. There are too many accidents out there, too many bad things happening. These kids with the cutting up, weaving in and out of traffic, and the illegal street racing, and it's just getting out of hand. And it's just more ammunition for the people that want to get rid of sports cars or get rid of gasoline-powered cars, loud cars. You know, the liberals in California, not all of them, but you know, the crazy ones that with the exhaust laws out there that they have them in New York now too. It's just insanity. Another video, we'll talk about that at another time, guys. What's the famous quote? It's more fun to drive a slow car fast than it is to drive a fast car slow. There's definitely some truth to that. The term momentum car now is being used for cars that I do not think are momentum cars, like a GT3 RS, which it does have the amazing chassis and the balance, and it can be easy to drive in some respects, not at its limits, but just daily and going around town. It's not just going to spin out on you. The car has incredible grip and traction. A GT3 or a 3RS, these cars that have 500 horsepower that can brake 10 seconds in the quarter mile. They can run a 1070 to a 1090 stock. How is that a momentum car? Where I come from, a momentum car has 200 horsepower and you have to get it going. It takes a lot of work to get it going and to keep it there. And you have to carry momentum through the turns. Not do 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds. But the chassis in that is just so superior that in some respects it can be considered a momentum car, especially when you compare it to a Ferrari SF90 Stradale or a McLaren Senna or something with gross amounts of power, insane amounts of power. I mean, you have Honda Civic SIs, I would say even the Type R, but that is starting to get faster. It's not fast, but it's what, 330 horsepower now, so it's not exactly slow, like an old school momentum car, like a Civic Si from the 90s or an Integra Type R from the late 90s. Those are definitely momentum cars. in stock form, obviously. We're not talking about modified stuff, because you can modify anything, and you can LS swap a Miata, and all of a sudden it's not a momentum car anymore, right? A lot of fun though, definitely lots of fun. What are some of your favorite momentum cars? Comment below. What else is a momentum car that I'm leaving out? Because again, I'm not an expert, guys. I'm just a car geek, a car enthusiast that loves cars, loves to talk about them and get conversations going. So I appreciate all and any comments, even the negative ones. On my last video, I was back to bashing electric vehicles again, and I got ratioed in the comments. People ripped me apart, you know, whatever. It's part of the game. I'm still not into EVs, probably never will be. But actually, if you want a super fast car and you're young, you might be better off getting an electric vehicle. And I can't believe I'm saying that, but they're quiet, so you can hoon around a little bit and not attract nearly as much attention. They can be safe with the technology in there, with all the technology in these Teslas. You can really get into it and the computer's gonna do all the work, as opposed to a Dodge Viper. The original Viper has to be the opposite of the momentum car. Those are just unforgiving and hard to drive. But that's fun too. There's definitely the challenge there. The challenge of taming the beast, so to speak. I like Vipers. I love the Gen 2 GTS from 96 until 01. I love those. And I am even starting to appreciate some of the later Vipers more. Well, the 5th gen is great. I think everybody likes the 5th gen, but I appreciate the 3rd gen too, the unloved generation. Z06, C7 Z06, definitely not a momentum car. A car that wants to kill you at every chance it gets. A lot of your hot hatches from the old days are momentum cars. You can make the argument that the new Corolla is a momentum car, the Corolla GR, the Volkswagen Golf GTI, and the Golf R are momentum cars. Even though they're not considered fast by today's standards, they do get up and go. It's amazing how much our perception of speed and power has changed. It's never enough. We live in a world now where it is never enough, no matter what you're doing. Get the momentum car. You're not going to get the speeding tickets. If you get a momentum car early and you learn how to really drive it, you will be a better driver in the long run. And when you work your way up to a car with higher horsepower that is less forgiving. They're reliable, they're usually naturally aspirated, they're safer, there are a lot of affordable options on the market for momentum cars. Lots of great momentum cars you can get out there for 15 grand, 10 grand even, or less. Comment below if you have a really cool momentum car that you picked up for next to nothing. I know a lot of you guys that work on your own cars, that do all the things that I can't do, unfortunately, that I wish I could do, but learning in my 40s, I mean, I can get by, I can change oil, I can change a tire, I can do like the bare minimum. I'm mechanically inclined, so to speak. I was a steam fitter for 3 years, so I can wrench a little bit. I can watch YouTube tutorials and learn, but it's just, do I have the time to really pursue that? Anyway, off subject again, but what momentum cars have you guys picked up for next to nothing, or what project cars do you guys have? Please let me know in the comments. It's a lot of fun to get up early on a Sunday morning and hit the back roads and have a car with great handling, with excellent brakes, that's pretty reliable, that doesn't attract too much attention, and you can have a lot of fun. A lot of these high horsepower cars, you can't really do much with them on the street or on the back road. Again, yeah, you're gonna win drag races, but you're not gonna have a lot of fun carving up back roads or canyons. It's just not the same. You're just gonna feel so limited in a really high horsepower car, unless you're really willing to push it and to risk either killing yourself or killing somebody else, which isn't worth it, obviously. You don't want to do that. Pushing a Viper on the back roads, or even a C7 Z06, is pretty crazy. You have to be an exceptional driver, and you have to have balls of steel. You have to be willing to go to jail for reckless driving. The momentum car, you're going to push it, you're going to have fun, especially some of your older cars that are slower, but they're lighter weight, and you're going to feel everything. And at the limits of those cars, they feel faster than they actually are. So you're getting that. As to where these modern cars, modern point and shoot cars, they're heavy and you're enclosed in all this safety, and the sensation of speed is reduced and you don't realize how fast you're going. Then all of a sudden you look down, you're doing 110, 120 miles an hour. Doesn't feel like it. As to where in a momentum car from the 90s, when you're doing 75, 80, it feels like you're going fast. Get a momentum car. Get a naturally aspirated momentum car with a manual gearbox. You will not be disappointed. And let me ask you guys this, has anyone gone from the high horsepower car to a momentum car and said, you know what, I don't need all this power. I just want to have something that's fun on the back roads. Who has made that shift? Who has made that transition? Also guys, we are going to get back in the Z. I know it's been a while. It's been a cold, snowy winter here in southern Maryland. And there's still salt on the roads right now. So I haven't had the Z out. The Z has been in the garage. But we're going to have to get it out again and make some more content, have some fun. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching guys. Please like and subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you next time.